My name is Xiaofan Liang. I worked in student experience team for 1 year, responsible for city event sourcing, attendance tracking, and basically help students to do city immersion. So one of my main job or routine job is do city event sourcing. What does it mean? It means finding interesting things in the city, and then submit it to the morning, which is a email subscription for all Minerva students, and then they can see it every day that was something interesting happening in the city. So one of my job is to find these interesting stuff. So how do I do it? One of the major technique I used is something called one tab. One tab is it's a Chrome extension that it can get all the tab you open on one website on one web page into one collection. So if I open all these tabs and then I tap on the one tab thing, it will basically collect all these tabs. And then when I restore them, boom. So when I click on the restore, they will all comes up at once. So the thing is that it's easier for me to do this because I don't need to think about what tab I need to open every week to check all the activities. I just need to restore all of these. So it basically reduces my cognitive load. If you have more things you want to add into this collection, I think you need to open all of them and then add in new tab and then do this again. So after you create a new tab, remember to lock all these tabs. Um, uh, it doesn't allow me to click on it. Oh, okay, here you go. So, like for, dang it. Sorry, sorry, that's accident. But supposedly, if you click on the more, it should be an option of lock this group thing. So lock all the tab when you can. Oh my god. Oh yeah, here. Lock all the tab group. Now I already locked it, so I need to unlock it. But remember to lock it so when you restore all is still in the collection. So the second things I do for finding interesting things in the city is I create a fake Facebook account. This is my fake Facebook account. And I would go to. Oh, sorry. I would go to the event section here, and then I will look at the subscribed event. See more. So what I subscribed. So what I did is basically for all the organizers I found, I tried to find their organization Facebook page, and then I click on their organization Facebook page, and then I like them, and then there's an option of notification. So when you click on the notification, there would be sometimes it will be, sometimes it will not be an option called events. So which means if this organizer published any events, it will show up in my subscribed collection. So this is the easiest way to look over a huge amount of organizers in San Francisco and get what's happening. So in the subscribed event page, you can see these are the organizers I have already subscribed. And this list is the same as the list in a doc called Minerva City Tracking, where there's a section called regular. So these are all the organizers I found last year that most of them are in here. I will also provide a list of names just to do it quickly. Here it's like, so for example, if I'm doing city event sourcing for next week, I would just probably go to see what's happening and then click on them and then see these are all different organizers. So it's really, I like how this could compile everything together to look through much quickly. So this is one option. The other option is popular events popular in your network. I think this would be much more efficient if you check it in your Facebook because it means it will show up events that Minerva students a lot of Minerva students had been interested in. But here, because that's my fake Facebook account, so I only added one friend, which is myself. So this is basically things that I am interested in rather than actual things. So this could be another ways of finding things Minerva students interested in. And here's a related to your event history. These are the suggestion recommendation, which is very, very good because it might suggest things that's coming from different like organization that you didn't pay attention to before. So go through this, and also like popular events nearby, and you can also go through this for a bit, but you don't have to go through them completely. So these are the two main things I used to found events. There are some like for all these tabs, like sometimes I cannot find organizers and I cannot subscribe events from their organization. I will put them in the list. So like another platform is FunCheap. So FunCheap basically is a platform of all activities happening in San Francisco, mostly cheap and chill. So you can just go over it. This is one of the platform, and then this is another one that potentially already blocked Minerva, but we will see. And these are some other other organizers that I have. I will look through every day. No, every week to check whether they have events happening. So yeah, basically it. That's the part for where to find events. So the other question comes. Oh, another thing is there's something in the monthly sourcing that I didn't show here. It's weekly sourcing. So for the monthly sourcing, they're much more like there are some university event calendar which is worth to go into, like Stanford event calendar and Berkeley and UCSF. They sometimes have really good events. So yeah. So what to look for? I know where to find activity, but how do I know which activity I should select to publish it to Minerva students? So basically, I think the buzzword would be interdisciplinary, futuristic, high quality, well-known organizations activity, museum days, and chill things. So I compile a list of things that for the past semester, these are the things that people have been interested in. Like more than 10 people actually click on the link for this event to go in and check it out, which means a lot of people interested in this. So from these titles, you might be able to get a sense of what's the vibe of the things that Minerva students are interested in. Okay, I will leave it to you to go in depth into this stuff. Well, one of the heuristic will basically be if you are interested in this. And just be aware of your bias when you're choosing things, because you might not be less sensitive of events that are not within your interest. So just be aware of that bias. And then what I want to talk about is how to document. I will use this page. So the main doc I'm working on is called Minerva City Activity Tracking Doc. Here you go. So I will go through these tabs one by one. So in the regular tab, it's basically the tab that I use to document all the organizers I found in the city. So these are all the organizers. I wrote an introduction. Frequency would be how often do they usually host events? What categories are they fall into? What form is basically like what forms of activity they do, and then evaluation, which is I kind of didn't really do well in it. It's mostly subjective, but I sometimes ask students for feedback of how good these organizations are. And then there's Minerva Special, which means if this organization had that ever been collaborated with Minerva or Minerva's partner. And here's the link of the organization. And here's some other stuff like numbers of students who went and who went just for the purpose of tracking if Minerva want to actually have collaboration with some of them. they know like which students they can maybe introduce Minerva to them. It's not really comprehensive in the sense that I didn't really track them in detail. And here's the thing that it's like ranking and feature is something I'd added for the purpose of highlighting organizations that are very trustworthy and popular among students based on my experience in this year. So basically, several organizations based on the survey, and also just the ideology of this thing. Here you go. When you sort it, you can see these are popular event organizers that you can check into. Some of them are partners with Minerva, and many of them are just cool organizers. So yeah, so going back, and then the comment is just like if it is an international organization, I will usually note it just for the purpose that if we went to different cities and the same organization has chapters in there, or if we had like volunteering partnership with them. By volunteering partnership, I mean Minerva students have been to the organizations to volunteer for the events to in exchange for free ticket or something like that. So I will detail some of the volunteering contact and information here. So yes, something like this, and then this would be organization Creative Morning, which has different locations in the world. That's it. And these links to the organization, I usually just directly link them to the event page, so better, like easier for me to source. Yeah, and the one-off, we kind of stopped doing it. So I don't know whether Minerva want to pick it up. So basically, just everything that happened and for the tracking, and just like a doc to document everything that happened, including city events and Minerva events. But it kind of stopped after a while, so we'll see whether Minerva wants you to pick it back. Friends of Minerva is a tab that documents usually are people that students invited to come to Minerva to give a talk, or come visit Minerva, and it's worthy to follow up. Like either if they have internship they would like to provide to Minerva, or they want to have a continuing conversation or a relationship with Minerva. So that's just one of them. These are all people students have invited to Minerva. So student initiative tab is the tab that kind of documents what's happening in student body when they just do stuff without telling the staff, which is perfectly fine. But staff want to get a sense of what's happening in the student body. So we have like these things happening, mostly student initiative, and then these are regular things going on, which means it happened like regularly, and these are Miko's, what's happening in Miko's, and ongoing, it's like something that's organizing right now. It's easier for staff to see and also to know how they can provide support for students. Yes, or connecting the dots basically. And expedition is another thing I'm working on. So the scope of the project is basically it's a free space for students to do whatever they want. They can lead an expedition to a restaurant. They can go to a place, go to a place in the city. The only difference for whatever that they just posted on Facebook and say, "Yo, let's go to beach today," is that it's open to everyone rather than just their friends. So we are trying to catalyze these expedition, especially involving students who are less active in the community in general, to try to find their interest and then nudge them to go like try out and lead something in the community. So these are like a tracking doc of me working on with different peoples on expeditions and how does it goes. So it was used to track my own for my own work as well as for staff to understand. Whew. So here, attendance evaluations. So the thing is, for this we built in So here is attendance sheet over here at the bottom, but I built in the algorithm to calculate the stuff. So basically, you can copy what's here and get the sense of how this algorithm works and do it for the next class as well. So this is like our attendance, like how many people attend. And then it was like at the end of semester I did this so that to show who are the students that are super active in going to events and who are the students that like involve less in this thing, or like RFGP or also absence. So standardization is something like, because I need to submit notification and event post to morning all the time, so I create some standard template so that I don't need to write about it every time. So these are the template I have so far. Some of them are for organizers, some of them are for just my working email, like follow up with people, follow up with organizers, or asking for free ticket, or asking for feedback, something like that. Yes, and here is the attendance checking. So basically, you can go to the Eventbrite account and then find out what these are all active in Minerva organized, not student organized, like Minerva official organized stuff in the city, not in the residential hall. So these are the things happening like on the Eventbrite list, and then you just put them on here and then try to document who go. So 1R basically means one means that person went to the event, it's present. R is the abbreviation of registration, RSVP, which means that person registered. So 1R is the person go and register. R means the person registered but didn't go. 1 mean the person didn't register but go. So they have been colored so it could be seen easier. And these are some simple algorithm that built into count, like get a sense of how many people RSVP but don't go, how many people went to the event, different stuff. So yes, so this is attendance tracking. So one thing about attendance tracking is that the way I do attendance tracking is not very rigorous. I encourage you to think about a better way, because I basically would document who went. If I went to those events personally, I would document them by myself, which is have a higher accuracy. I could just like eyeballing who went, who was present in the room. If for events I didn't go, I ask probably 2 people who went to the event to ask them to memorize who went, and also I would cross-reference with the data I had of people who registered, and if they didn't mention the people who registered, I would check again and say, are you sure these people who registered didn't go? So yes, so cross-reference between 2 people's memory as well as the data, the registration data at Eventbrite. But it's not extremely, it's not very accurate. I might missed somebody, but that's the most cost-efficient way of doing it from my part. But I highly encourage you to think about other ways, like just going to the event or trying like an Eventbrite app for people to check in every time they go to the event. Yes. Okay, so yeah, attendance 1 is just attendance from the first semester. Pivot table is some evaluation staff did last semester. So these are the things that this is the doc I mainly work with most of the time, and you can access it through the link I put in here. Yes, see here. Yes, and for Miko, I did some mystical support from event sourcing sides. Basically, like if I found events that fit Miko's interest. So for example, we have MeMake, which is a Miko that is interesting in doing like technology stuff, handicraft stuff, engineering stuff, data, and so on. If I found activity in the city that fits their interest, I would send them to the Miko leaders, so that they would decide whether they want to take an initiative to do with these stuff. So, yes, I think these are most of my work. I have a student immersion flowchart here in the Google Drive that you can access. So what I did, it's basically this is basically a map of for people who are doing my position or something different to understand how your how to position yourself within this large structure of student experience team. So the yellow thing is basically the end of every node that who should be the person responsible for it and who should go to contact. And this half gray, half white thing is the existing program that Minerva had so far. So actually, I think this is much better. So yes, you can see these are the existing program that we had at Minerva that's relevant to city immersion, and these would be what kind of things will lead to those programs. Just like a decision tree that help you understand how to distinguish decisions and what to do. So yeah, so hopefully you would enjoy doing your work as student experience team as I do, and Mike is a good person, Norian is a good person. So yeah, that's my job. And if you have questions, you can contact me through email. I'll put it here anytime that if you're having questions. Yep, that's it.